You're 8 years old. You're standing in the kitchen doorway, and your mother is making dinner. You can hear the sound of the knife on the cutting board. Chop, chop, chop. You ask her a question, something small, something innocent. Mom, can I help? Or maybe it was, Mom, did I do something wrong? She doesn't answer. She doesn't look at you. She just keeps chopping. The rhythm doesn't break, but the air has changed. It's thick now, cold, like all the oxygen has been sucked out of the room. You stand there, waiting, your small body frozen in the doorway. You ask again, quieter this time. Mom. Nothing. And suddenly you understand. You've been erased. You're standing right there, but you've disappeared. You've done something wrong, you don't know what, but the punishment has already begun. The silence. And it will last for days. You'll try to be good. You'll try to figure out what you did. You'll watch her face for any sign that you exist again. But she'll walk past you like you're a ghost. She'll answer your sibling, but not you. She'll hum to herself, cook, watch TV, live her entire life while you stand there, small and desperate, wondering if you'll ever be seen again. That was the punishment in your house, wasn't it? Not yelling, not hitting, not grounding. Silence. The withdrawal of presence. The removal of love. The message delivered through cold absence. You are not worthy of my attention. You do not exist to me right now. And you learned very early that love was conditional, that it could be taken away at any moment, that you had to earn your way back to existence. If this is your story, if you grew up in a home where silence was the weapon, then this video is for you. Because what happened to you has a name, and it has shaped everything about the way you love, the way you attach, the way you move through the world as an adult. And it's time to understand it. I'm the Emotional Wound Channel, and we talk about the things that hurt in the quietest ways. Subscribe if you're ready to name what was never named. Let's begin. What you experienced is called emotional withdrawal or stonewalling, a form of psychological punishment where a parent withholds communication, affection, and acknowledgement as a way to control or discipline a child. In psychology, this is considered a form of emotional abuse. Let me say that again, because you might need to hear it. This is emotional abuse. It's not dramatic, it doesn't leave visible marks, but it is deeply, profoundly damaging to a developing child's brain. Here's what happens neurologically. When you were a child, your brain was wired for attachment. You needed your parent to regulate your nervous system. You needed their face, their voice, their presence to know that you were safe, that you were loved, that you existed. When your parent gave you the silent treatment, your brain interpreted it as social rejection, which to the primitive brain is the same as physical danger. Because for a child, being cut off from the parent is a threat to survival. Your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, lit up. Your body flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. You went into hypervigilance. Your nervous system screamed, "Fix this. Figure out what you did wrong." get them back. But you couldn't, because the punishment wasn't about teaching you. It was about control. It was about making you feel small. It was about conditioning you to believe that love is something you have to perform for. And so you learned. You learned that your needs were too much, that your feelings were inconvenient, that asking for reassurance was dangerous, that love could vanish without warning. You learned to read the room, to scan faces, to monitor tone, to shrink yourself so small that maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't be disappeared again. This is called fawning, a trauma response where you prioritize other people's emotions over your own in order to stay safe. And you've been doing it ever since. Let me describe your life now. Tell me if I'm wrong. You're terrified of conflict. Even small disagreements feel life-threatening. If someone seems upset with you, if they take a little longer to text back, if their tone shifts, even slightly, you spiral. You replay every conversation. You scan for what you did wrong. You apologize, even when you don't know what you're apologizing for. You become whoever the room needs you to be. You've become so good at reading people that you can sense a mood shift from across the room. You know how to adjust, how to soothe, how to disappear your own needs so seamlessly that even you forget they exist. You're afraid to ask for things. Reassurance feels like begging. Saying, "I need you," feels like setting yourself up to be abandoned. So you don't ask. You wait. You hope. You drop hints. And when people don't pick up on them, you tell yourself, "See, I was right. I'm too much." You punish yourself with silence. When you're hurt, you shut down. You go quiet. You withdraw. And part of you knows that this is exactly what was done to you, but you do it anyway, because it's the only way you learned to protect yourself. You're addicted to hyper-responsibility. You believe that if something goes wrong, it's your fault. If someone is upset, you caused it. If a relationship ends, you should have tried harder. You carry the weight of every interaction, every dynamic, every disappointment, because you were taught that love is something you have to earn by being perfect. You don't trust that people will stay. Even when someone says they love you, you're waiting for the moment they go cold, waiting for the silence, waiting to be erased again. And so you never fully let anyone in because the cost of being disappeared again is too high. You struggle to name your feelings because when you were a child, your feelings didn't matter. They were inconvenient. They were the reason you were punished. So you learned to suppress them, to ignore them, to pretend they weren't there. And now, as an adult, when someone asks, "How do you feel?" you freeze. You don't know. You've spent so long not being allowed to feel that you've lost access to your own inner world. You apologize constantly. Sorry for bothering you. Sorry I'm being too much. Sorry I exist. You say it without thinking. You say it even when you've done nothing wrong. Because you're still that child standing in the doorway, trying to earn your way back into love. And here's the cruelest part. You became the parent who gave you the silent treatment. You learned to punish yourself the way they punished you. When you make a mistake, you withdraw from yourself. You withhold your own kindness. You go silent on your own needs, your own pain, your own humanity. You became both the punisher and the punished. And you've been living like this for years. But here's what I need you to know. None of this is your fault. You were a child. You didn't choose this. You didn't create this pattern. It was done to you. And the fact that it shaped you doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. Your nervous system learned to survive in an environment where love was conditional and presence was withheld. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It adapted. It found a way to keep you alive. But you're not in that house anymore. You're not 8 years old, standing in the doorway, waiting to be seen. You're an adult now, and you have the power to rewrite this story. Healing from the silent treatment begins with one radical act. You have to be the adult who turns toward the child you were. You have to be the one who says, I see you, I hear you. You didn't deserve that. You were never too much. You were a child who needed love, and you were given punishment instead. You have to learn to reparent yourself. That means noticing when you go silent on your own needs, when you withdraw from yourself, when you withhold your own care because you don't think you've earned it. And in those moments, you have to do the opposite. You have to speak. You have to name what you're feeling. You have to say out loud or in writing, I'm scared. I'm hurt. I need reassurance. I need to know I'm not alone. This will feel unbearable at first. It will feel like weakness, like neediness, like too much. But it's not. It's healing. You also have to learn to tolerate silence without panicking. Because not all silence is punishment. Sometimes silence is just silence. Sometimes people need space, and it has nothing to do with you. Your work is to notice when your body starts to spiral, when your amygdala screams danger, and to remind yourself, I am safe. This is not that. I am not being erased. I am allowed to take up space, even in the quiet. You have to practice asking for what you need before resentment builds. Instead of waiting and hoping someone will guess, instead of testing people to see if they care, instead of punishing them with withdrawal when they fail your invisible test, you have to use your voice. You have to say, I need reassurance right now. I'm feeling disconnected. Can we talk? I'm scared you're upset with me. Are we okay? This is not needy. This is secure attachment. This is what healthy people do. And finally, you have to confront the part of you that learned to punish others with silence. If you've ever stonewalled a partner, if you've ever shut someone out because you were hurt, if you've ever withheld communication as revenge, you have to look at that with compassion and then with accountability. You learned this, but you don't have to keep doing it. You can choose in real time to do the harder thing, to stay present, to name your feelings, to say, I'm hurt and I need some time to process this, but I'm not leaving. I'll come back. That's the work. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This pattern is not your fate. It was your conditioning, and you can change it. Let me speak directly to the child in you, the one who's still standing in that doorway, the one who's still waiting, the one who learned that silence meant you were unlovable. I need you to hear this. You were not too much. You were enough. You were always enough. The silence was never about you. It was about an adult who didn't know how to regulate their own emotions, who used withdrawal as power, who mistook control for love. But you internalized it. You made it mean something about your worth. You made it mean you were the problem. And you've been trying to fix that problem ever since. You've been trying to be smaller, quieter, less needy, more perfect. You've been trying to earn your way back into the room. But you don't have to do that anymore. Because the truth is, you were never the one who left. You were the one who was left. And that child who stood there, desperate and confused, trying to decode silence, that child deserved to be held, to be seen, to be told, "You're okay. I'm not going anywhere. You're safe with me." You never got that. But you can give it to yourself now. You can turn toward that child and say, "I'm here. I see you. And I'm never going to disappear on you again." That's the healing. That's the work. That's how you break the cycle. You were raised in silence, but you don't have to live in it anymore. You get to be seen now. You get to take up space. You get to ask for love without fear. And you get to believe, finally, that you're worth staying for. If this video landed, subscribe to Emotional Wound. We're building a place where the quiet wounds get named, where the invisible pain gets witnessed, where you finally get to say, "That happened, and it mattered." You're not alone in this, and you never were.